山水灵秀、世外桃源、下龙湾，置身世界7大奇景。
I don't want to
Leslie
live.
is going through.
I don't want to live this part.
Oh, are you talking to people online?
No, not yet.
Contagious.
No, we're not talking to people online. All right, Nancy, you ready?
No, I'm ready.
Get it all out. Get it all out.
Blah, 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 blah. No, it's still gonna come out.
Yeah.
It's still gonna come
We're
out.
live now. Don't tell these people these things.
Shh.
We're ICRT, FM 100, Taipei, Taichung, and Kaohsiung. Your news, Taiwan and the world.
Good afternoon, it's 4 o'clock. I'm Nancy Sun with the top of the hour news. In Taiwan news, a military expert and ex-paratrooper says this morning's skydiving accident could be the result of multiple factors. According to Zhen Zhiwen, who is chief editor of the military magazine Asia Pacific Defense, the military will be looking into whether or not Private Ching's paratroop company failed in its duties in any way. Zhen adds that there could be other factors at play as well, including the weather. Zhen says the military has strict standard operating procedures, but like air travel and driving a car, there are risks involved that cannot be eliminated completely. Private Chin was taking part in practice operations for the upcoming Hanguang military exercises when he jumped out of a military aircraft at an altitude of almost 400 meters, along with other paratroopers. His main parachute failed to deploy completely, and his backup chute also failed, causing him to hit the ground at high velocity, breaking bones in his skull, sternum, and lower vertebrae. He is currently in severe condition at a hospital in Taichung. Taiwan's e-commerce is expanding at a fast pace, according to the Director General of Budget Accounting and Statistics. The DGBAS says that in 2016, e-commerce sales reached a total of 3.5 trillion NT. That's an increase of 11.4% compared with the year before. DGBAS official Lin Yushu says among all sectors, the transportation and warehousing businesses grew fastest at a rate of 110% because people nowadays are used to booking their plane or train tickets and many other commodities online. Lin says the hospitality sector, which includes hotels and restaurants, also posted a growth of 47%, while the wholesale and retail sector only expanded by 10%. He expects that the business-to-customer e-commerce will continue to increase steadily in the next several years. In international news, China says it is prepared to defend its own interests amid increased trade tensions ahead of talks with the U.S. in Washington this week. Chinese Commerce Ministry spokesperson Gao Feng also told reporters that China hopes the U.S. will take concrete action to resolve a case involving Chinese tech company ZTE. U.S. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin and Chinese Vice Premier Liu He are leading talks in Washington today and tomorrow aimed at heading off a trade war between the world's two biggest economies. The Trump administration has threatened to impose tariffs on up to $150 billion in Chinese imports to punish Beijing over trade practices requiring American companies to hand over technology in exchange for access to the Chinese market. China has countered by targeting $50 billion in U.S. products. Russia's consumer rights watchdog says it has issued fines of more than $140,000 to hotels that it accuses of overcharging for rooms during the World Cup period. It's less than a month until the first match kicks off in Moscow. Lucy Taylor has the details.
You might expect prices for hotels, apartments and transport to be higher than usual during a month when more than 500,000 foreign fans will be in town. But Russia is determined that all the extra guests it hosts during the World Cup should go home happy. And its consumer watchdog is cracking down on hotel room rates it says have gone too high. It previously reported finding prices as high as 50 times the usual rate. Now it says after carrying out surprise inspections in the World Cup host cities, it has fined more than 700 businesses for overcharging. Lucy Taylor in Moscow.
And back here in Taiwan and looking at the weather across the island this afternoon, we have partly cloudy or mostly clear skies over all areas. Current temperatures now, Taipei 34, Taichung 32, Kaohsiung 31, and Hualien 29. And that was the ICRT News at 4 with me, Nancy Sun.
Thank you for tuning in for
Oh,
Sorry.
I got that one on
Oh
camera.
no. This is terrible. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome back to Web News Live. So you might have noticed, or maybe you didn't, I don't know, that we didn't have an episode on Tuesday this week, and that is because our media coordinator, social media coordinator, Leslie Lia, was off gallivanting out and about somewhere, and he was not available. Gallivanting, that's right. Okay, no, seriously.
I would be angry at you if I knew what that word meant.
Well, there you go. No, actually, we had a very important meeting with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs head, Joseph Wu, and our newscaster, Philip Broussard. He did an interview with him about his policies on Latin America and the Caribbean. And that's going to be aired tomorrow at 7:40 p.m.
A.M.
Pardon me,
in the morning.
7:40 a.m. in the morning for Ola Taiwan. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Make sure you tune in for that. Ola Taiwan. The foreign minister, Joseph Wu, is very eloquent.
Okay.
And
yes.
he discloses a lot of details.
Yes, we got the dirt.
We got
on
the scoop.
foreign affairs. Okay.
Yep. Anyway, let's talk news. What's with this accident that happened? This dude.
Yeah, it was actually it still is ongoing. It happened early this morning, and basically the Hanguang military exercises are coming up. We spoke about this a couple episodes ago, and that's the military exercise where during the afternoon for about half an hour, different parts of the island, you'll have to, stay off the road. Trains will continue to run, but you need to stay indoors, yada, yada. That exercise. So basically, this company of paratroopers, they were practicing for the exercise, which is coming up. And then apparently his primary parachute didn't deploy.
Okay.
And then, so obviously that's a problem. And then his secondary chute deployed, but it didn't catch the air fully, or it didn't function the way it was supposed to. And so he hit the ground much faster than he should have, if everything had worked. So he is currently in critical condition, or severe condition, at a hospital.
Okay.
Still not conscious.
Still not conscious.
He's 26 years old, which is super young. And they're trying to determine how it happened, if it was a man-made error, or if it was malfunctioning equipment. They're saying this guy, this was his 11th jump, so he's not a rookie. He's fully qualified, 3 full years of service. He's qualified to be doing what he did today. So they're trying to figure out if it was something else.
So he's a full-time serviceman, not one of those conscriptees?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then there's a lot of details, he 400 meters above ground. If everything went ideally, it would have taken him 60 seconds to come down and hit the ground, and it only took him 26 seconds.
So he hit the ground. So
pretty hard.
So his parachute did function somewhat. His backup chute.
The backup chute kind of sort of functioned, or else he would be definitely a goner, because 400 meters is over 100 stories, 120 some odd stories high. So he would be a goner. So it functioned somewhat, but it didn't fully catch the air or fully open. And there's a lot of video, there's video footage circulating on media, and you can kind of see it happening, and it's not,
okay.
Not close up.
Very sad news for this young guy. Yeah, poor guy.
So
he is 2 years younger than I am.
26.
Yeah.
So
that's terrifying. And he put himself on the line. So the military expert says this is be a result of multiple factors.
Yeah,
What-
they're still trying to figure out why it happened. The expert that we cited in our report just now, he said it could have been, man-made error. It could have been something wasn't properly stowed, or it could have been even weather. Could have been a factor. So they're still investigating.
Okay, poor guy. Let's hope he pulls through.
Definitely.
Next up we have.
Hi to Lisa Yu, and Dennis Sung says very sad news for this young guy.
Yes.
Yeah, last I heard on the news, his girlfriend is visiting the hospital to try to encourage him to pull through. So hopefully he'll be okay.
Okay. Next up is Taiwan's e-commerce is rising drastically. Now, could you define e-commerce for us really quickly?
Sure. E-commerce is any kind of trade or in goods or services that happens online over the internet, where money is exchanged over.
So basically, if you buy
virtual
anything
means.
on the internet, that's e-commerce.
Yeah, I'm sure, or even services too. I'm sure a lot of people are really familiar. Like if you've booked your airplane tickets online before, that's e-commerce. Or if you've booked your hotel, and you're traveling somewhere, and then that's e-commerce. And I partake in a lot of e-commerce too because it's just so easy.
What do you buy?
Everything. Because everything gets delivered to your house now, as long as you go over a certain, limit, certain threshold. And I don't have the time to go lugging around bottles of shampoo and body wash and all around Taipei. It's just much easier to get it sent to your house.
You buy groceries online?
That's not groceries.
Well,
that's
household products?
Yeah.
Man.
I can't care. It's really heavy. I mean, I can, but it'd be, a lot of extra work.
Okay, so who said this is happening?
Who said this is happening? That's the Director General of Budget Accounting and Statistics. Basically, they keep track of, statistics and that kind of thing in Taiwan.
Dennis Sung says it's too easy. Shopping. It really is.
It is. I'm telling you, it's so super convenient, and it saves you a lot of time. And so, it's a growing industry. And that's not just in Taiwan, that's also all over the world.
Yeah, but Taiwan just makes it so easy because there's so many 7-Elevens and you can have it sent to the 7-Eleven
Or any
and
kind
pay
of,
for the product at a 7-Eleven.
Right, or any other kind of convenience store. This is not a product placement for a certain convenience store. Yeah. Okay. So basically, the DGBAS, that's always fun to read in the news. They're saying e-commerce sales reached a total of 3.5 trillion NT. And that's in 2016, though. They're still, coming up with new data. That's an increase of 11.4% compared to the year before. So it's growing year on year.
Okay, so our own Joey is asking, what's the most ridiculous thing you bought online? And just in case you didn't know, Joey is right there.
Oh, you're still here?
Yeah, he's been here the entire time.
The whole time. I'm
The
just
whole
trying
time?
to keep quiet and hang out in the corner because I have no friends and you're my only friend.
Oh,
So listening to the news.
all right then.
He's here getting it live.
Feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Oh, look at him scrunched into the corner. Anyway, okay, so basically that's the sector that grew the most was transportation and warehousing, like we said, hotels and booking train tickets, airplane tickets online, because
What's
buys
warehousing?
it in person? Like if you stow stuff somewhere, or if you book
Like
a warehouse.
storage?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow,
And
really?
It's not for well, I would think it's not for regular, normal, average Joes, but for companies, they need, storage and warehousing too. So those grew the fastest, 110%. Who buys a plane ticket in person now? Where do you go to buy it? To the airport?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Travel agency?
Yeah, I guess so. Right. And then the hospitality sector, like hotels and restaurants, they grew 47%.
Yeah, there's so many hotels growing up now in Taipei, all around, small hostels and stuff like that.
Yeah. And even restaurants are getting into, online apps where
Booking?
you can, online
Or
booking
Food Panda?
or apps.
Or
right.
delivery
Not to
services?
mention- are we supposed to mention specific names?
I don't know, I just do it.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, so they can deliver to your home. So that's online too. That's e-commerce too. Yes, and even as that is growing in Taiwan, Taiwan companies are still facing, increased pressure. We're spending, as consumers and stuff, we're spending more on e-commerce, but that also means that more companies from all different parts of the world want to get in on that business.
Yeah. Okay. So this isn't necessarily good for Taiwan per se.
It's more competition, which is the whole point of
E-commerce.
fair and free trade. So maybe better for the consumer in the end. We'll find out.
Yeah, economic. Yes.
Maylin says hi.
Does Maylin say hi?
Yeah, hi Maylin.
Hi,
I think.
May.
Or Maylin's laughing. I
Yeah,
don't-
because she saw Joey. That's all
okay.
it is.
Oh, all right.
They're
fine.
friends.
All right, fine. Yeah, and then moving on to international news. Basically, this has been an ongoing story over weeks or even months.
Yep.
It's the trade tensions between the U.S. and China. U.S. President Donald Trump, he got elected saying that he said a lot of things. He said he would renegotiate deals that were unfair to the U.S., and China was one of the countries that he named specifically that were engaging in policies that damaged the U.S. In terms of like U.S. companies and U.S. Industries.
Okay.
And so they've gone back and forth. Like the U.S. said, we're gonna tax Chinese imports, and China has countered by saying, well, we're going to tax U.S. products. And so now they're going to have a meeting today and tomorrow.
With whom?
That is the U.S. Treasury Secretary, Stephen Mnuchin, and then Chinese Vice Premier Liu He. So, like, pretty,
high-level talks.
high-level talks.
Okay.
It's funny because it's like a love and hate relationship. It's like at least on the surface, they have to posture and they have to say, we need to protect our own, and we need to, especially Trump with his America First policy, we need to protect our own, we need to make things on our own, we shouldn't depend on other countries. But the fact of the matter is they do depend on other countries. Actually, this whole thing is about this a Chinese telecoms company, ZTE. I'm sure you've heard about it in the news. Basically, it's this Chinese telecoms company, but they buy chips from the U.S., Qualcomm, and then it was hit with sanctions, which snapped into place last month. So it wasn't allowed to be, it was basically banned from buying those U.S. chips, which meant that the whole business would have gone belly up, because without those chips, they can't make their phones and they can't make their products. And so I think last week or on Sunday, Trump tweeted that, we're going to save ZTE. It's a lot of Chinese jobs and it shouldn't be lost, yada, yada. And people were surprised because that was not really his original position on the whole China and Chinese businesses.
Yep.
But yeah, now, people are saying maybe he was saying that so that, he would have a better position to bargain in U.S. and China trade talks.
Okay.
Who knows?
Good. The last story of the day. Russia is going to host the World Cup.
Yeah.
And they are they're charging $140,000 in fines.
They're fining, that amount to a lot of different hotels. 539 violations. So that money is spread over those violations.
500. So it's what, $2,000 per?
It depends on the violation.
Per violation?
It depends on the violation. So basically what happened was Russian inspectors, they went to go visit hotels and, guest houses. And what they found was that these places were charging up to 50 times their usual rate during non-World Cup periods. And then the Russian officials said, well, this is a violation of, this is overcharging. This is not in good faith. This is, poor business practice, so
Extortion?
on and so forth. Extortion. So they were getting fined, and a lot of the businesses potentially would be saying, this is just like good business. This is opportunism instead of extortion. And this happens a lot in, different countries for different reasons. Having gone to Japan during sakura season, cherry blossom season, that's it's a big price change. But anyway, so it's a question of how much, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. And there was one more that you didn't get to during the cast.
Yes,
Did you want to talk about that?
True. Sure. Okay, so basically New Zealand's government, newly elected last year, and they changed from a conservative government to a liberal government, which means a different agenda, different purposes. So basically the government has laid out its budget for the year, and it's focusing a lot on improving healthcare and improving education. So far, like from the news that I've seen, people in New Zealand seem to be responding positively. They seem to be excited about, improving emergency care, hospital care, maternity care, that kind of thing. Yeah. Right. Okay. 3.2 billion over 4 years for healthcare. 3.8 billion for affordable housing, which was also another one of their campaign promises. 395 million for new schools and classrooms.
That's nice.
How can you be against spending on education?
Are you only saying that because you had a baby recently?
And healthcare. Oh, okay. Anyway, just for and for this budget to continue over the next few years, New Zealand's net debt would be equal to about 22% of GDP. 22% of GDP sounds like a lot, but
That's
then
a lot.
I should have looked up Taiwan. But I looked up a few other countries. Australia operates at 34% of GDP. Okay. Denmark at 50%. France at 90%.
Debt?
90% of net debt.
Okay.
Net debt is how many percent of government GDP, gross domestic product. The U.S. is 107%.
Oh, what?
So
can you do that?
This is as of a couple of years ago. So 22% is not that bad.
To improve schools and hospitals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, just my amateur take on it.
Taiwan is 31.2%. 2016.
You see, Joey is useful
Taiwan.
for something.
Oh, wait, did you say that
I'm
again?
being useful. Taiwan recorded a government debt equivalent to 31.2% of the country's gross domestic product in 2016.
2016. Okay, so Taiwan's 31 point some odd percent. 31. That's also doesn't sound that bad compared to some other countries.
100. I didn't know you can blow your debt like that.
Of course you can.
102% of your equity.
Canada's at 80%.
That's ridiculous.
Because the Liberal government is, spending to spur growth. That is a type of policy.
Okay.
Spending liberally.
Okay.
All right.
Not a lot of questions today.
Dan Jianhua says hi, or the hand wave. Hi.
Not a lot of questions today.
Yeah.
But it's all right, I guess.
Weather update.
Oh, yeah. Air quality, please. Are we going to see rain at all?
We are not. There's supposed to be sudden afternoon thunder showers in certain areas, probably mostly mountainous areas. For the next couple of days, we're still going to be stuck with this kind of
muggy heat.
Hot, sticky, can't move or you'll sweat kind of weather, and even possibly hotter. They're saying that because of fen feng, the hot dry winds.
Yeah.
What it could feel like, hottest temperature could feel like is 37, 38, 39 degrees.
So is this
the feel of it?
A heat wave?
Brandon Tung, hi. George Yu, hi. It's basically just hot dry winds sweeping in and making us all sweaty.
So here's my concern. If it's this hot now,
yeah,
what's it going to be like come summer?
I don't know. Everybody's, usually when the plum rain season comes, it cools down temperatures, and then you get back to hot again.
All right.
Why do we live in Taiwan again?
I don't know.
In Taipei?
I have a reason, but I'm not going to say it.
Okay. Anyway, and then air quality, usually in the mornings, generally it's been pretty good so far, but towards the afternoon and, later on in the evening, the air pollution does build up. So be aware of that.
All right. So, thank you for web news today, Nancy.
Thank you.
Remember, tomorrow, Ola Taiwan.
7:40
7:40 in the morning, okay? It's an interview with Philip Brossard.
That is right.
And Minister of Foreign Affairs Joseph Wu.
That is right.
所以明天早上7:40会有一个专访 ICRT 这次有去
Exclusive interview.
这次有去外交部跟外交部长吴钊燮
Hi, Emily Lai.
访问。So make sure you guys tune in for that, and we'll see you on Tuesday, Nancy.
Bye.
Bye-bye.